Well, there's my first obstacle of the morning. I had to cross the Limbo River. That's the biggest river crossing I'll have. I do have a lot of creek crossings over in the Harper's Creek area, but that's the only river crossing that I have. I've crossed this river several times in my backpacking history in the gorge. Always a lot of fun. I've never crossed it this far down though. This is as far south as I've ever been on the river. I got to say it was actually easier than I thought it would be. Didn't get deep until I got near this bank, and then it was barely up to the hem of my shorts, mid-thigh. So the plan today is hike as far as I can, as quickly as I can, because it's supposed to rain. Forecast this rain starting around 1 o'clock. I'd like to go ahead and set up camp before the rain starts. So I'm hoping to get 10 or 12 in before 1. And then I'll set up camp somewhere. That's going to put me in Harper's Creek, I believe. And I'm hoping to find an area that will have a lot of leaves. Makes it easier when it's raining really hard so that you don't get splash up all over your tent. But I've got a good climb out of the gorge. That climb up to Short Off Mountain is no joke, but it's actually, I enjoy it. I've hiked that several times. I guess as big climbs go. As I'm going up, I'll give you a view. As you climb out of the gorge, you can turn around and look southbound. You get this beautiful view of Lake James. So I'll share that with you as it gets near. Well, here's our first beautiful view from the base of Short Off Mountain. Lake James over there. It's looking south. Robin's home, my trail angel. On the other side of that little ridge, you can see the clearing over there where that house is. Somewhere in that little neighborhood. That's private land right down there, that parcel of land that's clear. The trail kind of has to go up and around it. The Limbo Gorge trail continues along the river down there. You can see the river, I think, right there. And I guess that right there is the pinnacle. That's where I was yesterday when I took that first view of the gorge, looking across at Short Off. It's a good, beautiful morning, a little warm. Other than that, it feels great. I'm about to get on the trail and make some miles. All right, here it is in all its splendor. Wish it weren't so hazy, you don't get a great view of it, but that is the Limbo Gorge. I am standing at the precipice of Short Off Mountain. I'm gonna pan down the gorge for you. That whole area over there is called the Carolina Wall, the big rocky outcropping. The Rock Jock Trail kind of runs right along there. So you can stay on the rim of the gorge without having to go down to the river. Pinch-In Trail kind of comes out like right over there. Comes straight up the side of the mountain. It's tough to climb out. But I'll give you the peaks in order. Very first one. Okay. First one that you can see is Table Rock. The one just beyond it is Little Table Rock. Then there's Hawksbill, Sitting Bear, Linville Mountain, but I can't remember the other one. But that's it. The gorge, the river, cuts straight through there. It's called the Grand Canyon of the East for a reason. Part of my soul abides here, and I love it. Now you can see why they call it Table Rock. From the other perspective, it looks more pointed, but here it flattens out. And then just to the left of that is Little Table Rock, which looks like a small Table Rock. Now I got another 2.5 miles to Table Rock picnic area, and then I'll skirt along the rim of the Table Rock Trail for a little while. And then I believe the MST starts heading kind of due east from there. The Table Rock Trail and then the Jonas Ridge Trail kind of keep going north, but MST skirts off and takes us down to Harper's Creek. So, check it in later. Well, this is one of my favorite views from the gorge, other than the views of the gorge itself. But if you're looking east off at the Catawba Plateau, and looking west, way over there on the far horizon, that last ridge of mountains, that's the Black Mountain Range. Mount Mitchell's over there. Probably about right. Let me see. If you can see it, it's about right there. Beautiful day. It's cool. It's supposed to rain pretty soon, so I'm going to get out here and go get the camp set up. So I believe this is Still Creek Falls, or Still Creek at least. See the falls through there. This is a legit trail. I mean, you come straight off the riverbank and go straight up the side of this mountain. I'm still climbing. This is kind of like a gorge, really. It's not as high. Let me put this away and get back to climbing. Well, here I am, snug as a bug in the rug. In my tent. It's about 2:30 on Tuesday. I knew that it was going to rain today. The forecast said sometime between 1 and 3. So I got up early from Robin's house, hit the trail as early as possible so I could go ahead and do as many miles as possible. I think I got about 17. I am just outside. I guess I'm just west of North Mountain 181. Had a tough little climb out of Harper's Falls. Harder than expected, really. Anyway, seems like the tent's holding up just fine so far. It's supposed to rain until about 10 or 11 tonight, so we'll see. No issue so far. I could have hiked in the rain, but I didn't want to try to set up camp in the pouring rain, so it started literally like 2 seconds before I decided to go ahead and set up camp. So I just rushed to the nearest spot that looked like it would be suitable and threw it up. So far, so good. I'm going to just chill, do a few camp chores, probably eat an early dinner. Fortunately, I still have one movie that I've downloaded. I've had very little service. In fact, didn't even have service at the house last night. Hopefully, when I get to Blowing Rock, I'll be able to find some Wi-Fi in that town. Get some movies and videos downloaded so I'll have some stuff to watch at night. Because I don't know when I'm going to have service again until I get into Piedmont. So far so good. This is kind of an unexpected pleasure really in getting a chance to relax. I need this because I tell you, I've had some tough climbs the last 3 or 4 days. Time for the body to relax just a little bit. Well, that dry spot in the leaves is where my tent was. You can see everything around it's wet. The tent coming good and dry. And a good dry night. Of course, I can't pull up the forecast right now until I get back to service, but I think the forecast for today is clear. I'm on the trail heading toward, should be at Highway 181. For those of you who don't know, 181 comes out of Morganton and goes into Lenore. And from there, frankly, I've never really followed it east or west after Lenore, so plan today is I'm trying to set myself up to get to Blowing Rock either tomorrow evening or Friday morning. Friday mid-morning is an easy scenario. But if I do back-to-back 25s, I think it's 53 miles. If I did back-to-back 25s, that'd give me 3 easy miles in on Friday morning. Or I can do 2 20s and have a 13 on Friday, but I'd like to have a good long Nero on Friday, and then decide if I want to take a full 0 on Saturday. Just one of the decisions I'll have to make, and then after that, got to decide, I guess, hopefully my next 0 will be in Elkin. Beautiful morning though. Cloudless sky. Got a lot of creek crossings today. The Harper's Creek area. Joseph and I hiked it several years ago. And there's a lot of creek crossings there. I'm almost certain to get my feet wet today. You know, if I'm doing a river crossing, usually what I'll do, and I should have shown you this yesterday, I will take off my socks, take the soles out of my shoes, put the shoes back on, cross the river, then wring the shoes out as best as possible, put my socks back on, head on down the trail. Usually, within an hour or so, if the trail is dry, my feet will dry. But when I've got a lot of little creek crossings like I anticipate today, I'm probably not even going to take my socks off. I'll just probably wade right through. That's what I did on the AT for the most part, and it worked just fine. I just have to be sensitive to the possibility of blistering. Lord knows I don't want to get back to that predicament I was in the second day. So be really sensitive to hot spots and just take it easy. I will put this away and come back to you if anything of worth or of note comes up. Well, this is my official goodbye to the Limbo Gorge. The gorge is actually on the other side of that ridge line. To the left is Stable Rock, Hawksbill, and Sitting Bear. I'm getting ready to cross over 181 and start into Harper's Creek area, and continuing northeast. Good morning again from the trail. So in order to break up the monotony of this day, because I think there's just a lot of walking, a lot of creek crossing, I'm just going to briefly, every time I cross a creek, pop in a little video giving you the number of creek crossings. So far, I'm at 4, and I've been on the trail just over an hour and 5 minutes. Coming up on a creek, but I don't think this is a creek crossing. But I will keep you posted on my crossings. That's number 5. And yes, the water is icy, and the rocks are slippery. Number 6, a short one. Well, that's our first view of Grandfather Mountain. It's not the quintessential grandfather profile. You get that really from the other side, but that's Grandfather. Just to the left of it is Grandmother. And Beacon Heights is over there somewhere. Beacon Heights is where the Tanawa Trail starts. That's going to be the end of this segment and the beginning of the next. We skirt along Grandfather Mountain, but we don't actually climb Grandfather. And I think I can see, I think that's hard to tell. I think I lost it. The Lynn Cove Viaduct is over there somewhere. We'll be passing right under it. When we get closer, I'll give you a better view of it. Number 7, this one was frustrating only because I had no idea where I was supposed to cross. I went up and down the river 2 or 3 times. There's no blazing here. Fortunately, my software gave me an indication that I seemed to be on the wrong side of the river, or the creek, so I crossed over. And fine, look at this. This is right off the creek. Not a single white blaze anywhere. Not a single one to indicate that you're going the right way. But then you walk down the trail for another 50 or 60 feet. And look. Oh my goodness, it's ablaze. Why is this blaze not on the tree beside the creek? This is some of the poorest blazing I've seen. I'm sorry. Rant over. That's number 8. Not much to it. This is number 9. It doesn't look too bad. I'm going to take you along with me. Hopefully I don't drop my phone. You always want to kind of walk diagonally against current and try to stay out of the really deep pockets. Deepest I've gotten probably was yesterday in the river, up to my thighs. Today so far it's mostly up to my knees. Just have to watch for the really strong current. And really slippery rocks. Just take your time. Woo! That's close. Yeah, and usually you have to go straight up the side of a little river. But that's it. That's number 9. Number 10. 30 seconds later, number 11. Number 12. And lucky number 13. Well, 14 is the deepest yet. Haven't got up over my shorts. The beautiful waterfalls here. Number 15. Well, I believe I'm finally saying goodbye to the creek. I've started up the ridge line. Cool thing is, it was hot as blue blazes down the river. If you weren't in the water, it was hot. But up here on the ridge, there's a nice breeze stirring. Feels really nice. Feels like the perfect spring day. I knew I was going to have a climb out of that valley. Just didn't know when it was going to start. So, I don't know how much farther I'll climb, but I'll check in when I'm back in an interesting spot. Well, this is a rare twofer. There are waterfalls over there. Jumping into that beautiful wading. Oh my gosh, that's probably 6 to 8 feet deep, maybe deeper than that. But also, this beautiful falls. I believe these are Huntsman Creek. Huntsman Creek Falls. I don't know which is which, but they're beautiful. Different creek, same story. I believe that's 16 crossings today. That's number 17. It's number 18. 19. If I have to do it one more time, I'm going to stop recording. This is crazy. That's number 20. I'm just going to stop recording. That's crazy. Well, this is the famous Lynn Cove Viaduct. Not really a great perspective looking up at it. It's basically a road cut into the side of the mountain. And it's basically supported it over that valley. Here's my view this morning. Been on the trail about 20 minutes. Good rain last night, so everything's wet this morning. So here's a much better view of the Lynn Cove Viaduct. I'll take you with me as I head around the little trail that runs out to the observation deck. According to the sign, there's 153 concrete segments making this viaduct, and they said only one of those segments is straight. And the viaduct was built to basically traverse the boulder fields coming down from Grandfather's Mountain. Apparently, I don't see any down there, but apparently boulders come off this mountain a lot. This is what it looks like. Stretches all the way around this curve. Better put it away. It looks like footing might get treacherous here. Another view. Beautiful. Viaduct. This big open valley. I gotta admit, it's pretty spectacular. I'm tired this morning and it keeps taking me up mountains. When this part of the trail, this section of the trail is rated as easy. If this is easy, there are much stronger hikers than I am out there. There's a beautiful pasture, kind of on top of the mountain. He's got Christmas trees over there. And I imagine there's cattle in here somewhere. I just crossed the cattle style right over there, but I'll take you with me as I hike through here. Looks like at one time he had some fruit trees up here. Well, I doubt they're bearing anymore because they're probably not pollinated. Yeah, this is beautiful. I remember there were a couple of farms along the parkway. I couldn't remember if it was around Julian Price or around Cone Manor. I'm probably 4 or 5 miles from Julian Price. I'm 20, 25 miles from Cone Manor, but anyway, it's beautiful. Kind of reminds me, there's a section of the AT when you come off of Max Patch, go down the mountain and start into a tree line for a while, and then you just burst right out into a pasture, and there's a lot of cattle in there. A lot of people are freaked out by it. I was hiking with a young lady when we went through there. I remember her being a little alarmed by the cattle. Now, having grown up around cattle, it wasn't a big deal to me, but big deal to her. Later. This is the Moses Cone Mansion and surrounding properties. This is a beautiful, beautiful, incredibly well maintained property. The kids and I came up here 22 years ago probably. And Hannah was still teeny tiny out there in the backpack. And John and Joe and I and Hannah walked around all these grounds. It was so funny. I was carrying her in a backpack and so many people stopped to say, "Wow, how can you do that? That's amazing. I can't believe you can carry this child around this whole property." And at the time, of course, she didn't weigh 20 pounds probably. And it was just a nice leisurely walk. It wasn't hard at all. I'm kind of hoping it's the same way today. It's a beautiful day. It's turned out to be gorgeous. Just some clouds. I think I'm about 6 miles from Blowing Rock. Puts me there sometime around 3:30 or 4 probably. First thing I'm gonna do, I think, is eat a massive pizza. Starting to crave a pizza. Alrighty, I'm gonna check in later. Well, if you can hear me, this is Blowing Rock. This nice white sidewalk. Goodness gracious, I love it. I got about 3/4 of a mile to John and Jill's house. Then I'm gonna kind of get a scope of things around me. Get a bite of dinner. It's gonna be probably it's gonna be about 3:45 by the time I get there, so hustle on down. There's a Tanger or Tanger outlets over there. You know you're in civilization.